Hello, world. Um, Part of my channel's interest is to follow my curiosities and answer questions about the unseen, the unknown. And one big question that has come up through my discussions is that a lot of people believe in aliens, which I find interesting um, because I personally have found no proof to it. And if atheists are shant on believing that God doesn't exist because of no proof, this kind of falls in the same category. Um, the person that I am interviewing, his name is Dante. You'll see links to his website, and you can, hire him yourself. You can go to this website and talk to him yourself. Claims to channel the Palladian Council. The one thing I can tell you is that Dante is channeling something, and that something has knowledge. And we asked it a lot of questions, like 2 hours worth of a lot of questions. I don't think I could have answered those questions. I don't think you could have answered those questions. So we're definitely talking to something. Um, they claim that they're extraterrestrials. They claim that they're Palladian councils. They claim that they're quasi-physical. But also, when asked, they use the word spirit guides. And when asked about if they were jinn, they said yes. So I have a trust problem. I know Dante is channeling something. I don't know who or what they're channeling. And what they're channeling is claiming that as long as their messages are good, take them and go with them. Which, great. All the messages that I had in the first two interviews were good and holy and positive, and I liked it and made me feel good. But I, in no way, shape, or form, can trust what I'm dealing with because I don't know at what point they change. And manipulation is quite easy when you're speaking to someone, so maybe they decide to be not so friendly or not so good at a later date, and I wouldn't know. So you have all the details to reach Dante. You're free to do it yourself. I'm not going to pursue this any further, but yeah, here are two interviews that I have with somebody who claims to channel aliens. Enjoy, have at it, and leave a message and leave a comment, and I'll reply. Cheers.
I mean, I'm here. I'm trying to mute myself, or should I mute myself?
Yes, please. That would be great.
I'm just gonna disconnect from Discord.
Cool. Take care, buddy. See you on Twitch. Now it's just me and you, Dante.
Okay,
How are you feeling today?
good.
Nice. We like it. So how does this work? What do you have to do? How do we get to channeling? Is there anything that we have to tell the audience and viewers? Because some people who are watching this have never seen channeling before, don't understand it, don't know what you're doing, what's going on. Can you maybe introduce yourself and explain what channeling is?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can do that. So my name is Dante, or Dante Starshine, and I am an intuitive healer and channel and astrologer and yogi and a lot of things. So I began doing spiritual work like 12 years ago, and it began with yoga and shamanic plant medicine work, and then I was really compelled to, well, no, a better way. So when I finished my yoga training, I was invited to teach at a yoga studio that offered yoga and Reiki, and they invited me to participate in a training program for Reiki. And this opened me up to the world of working with energy. Reiki is like channeled healing energy. Today I'm going to be channeling a spirit guide, though the concept of channeling is the same, that an energy that is from spiritual planes is coming through. And at first it was just, work with this energy for healing, and you may receive messages. And that really changed my perspective and changed my paradigm to one that was a lot more animistic and understanding that everything is made of consciousness and everything has a consciousness or a spiritual component within it.
Okay.
And yeah,
All right.
so
Um,
am I talking too much? Sorry.
it's okay. Yeah. So I kind of want to establish some kind of not ground rules, but the best way for us to engage, and I'd like for you to work with me on that, so we can both communicate with each other the best way possible. I will have a lot of questions, and I have a short attention span, and I imagine some of my audience also have a short attention span. So normally when I'm doing an interview and I want to interrupt someone with a question, I raise my hand so that I don't interrupt them. Will you be able to see me while you are channeling?
No. So you'll have to kind of speak up.
Okay, so do you want me to interrupt you? Is that okay?
Oh, totally. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Okay, well I can do that. I don't want to be rude or anything. Cool. I think we'll start in about 3 minutes. How long does it take for you to start channeling?
Quite quickly.
Okay, cool. And you'll be able to channel for the rest of the session today.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to end the channeling 10 minutes before the end so I can have a conversation with you at the end, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I might change my mind later on. I'll see how I feel, depending on if the conversation is so hot and spitting. It'll be kind of cool. I have a lot of questions. I didn't. I think you said okay, but I didn't hear what your response was. Cool. So the shorter the answer, the better the experience for viewers. So ask a question, and if people want some sort of clarification, they can ask me in the chat. They can send a message. They can interact. But I would like for you to answer as short as possible so that we can get as many questions in as possible. Is that fair?
Sure. They and I are both very long-winded.
Okay.
So you might need to interrupt if it goes on too long.
Is it rude if I interrupt?
I don't think so.
I'll ask them. Is it rude if I interrupt you?
Right.
Is it rude if I interrupt you? Cool. So we got about 2 more minutes. I'm just trying to think of any questions that we want to do before we get into the channeling itself, because we're going to start channeling at 1 minute, 60 seconds left. Cool. Is there anything I need to watch out for? Anything they don't like?
They don't. Their paradigm and my paradigm is that nothing is deterministic. So questions about the future are going to be very long-winded because there is no deterministic future.
Cool.
That's not so.
I'm
it
happy.
isn't to say you can't ask about the future, but it's going to be a little bit
confusing,
more complex than you might think.
Sure.
When you
Clear.
ask a psychic who is going to say, "This is what's going to happen."
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just a disclaimer.
Cool. Keep questions to the future to a minimum. Are we ready to go? No.
It's not keep it to a minimum, but expect for a little bit more of a complex answer.
Sure.
Not a definitive answer.
That sounds fair. Now let me tell the chat. Chat, you are welcome to ask questions as well. If not, I will continue with my questions. All right. I'm ready when you are.
Okay. How many people are here?
As far as I can see, 5 people. However, this will be recorded and put on YouTube. Do I have your consent?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Do I need their consent? I'll ask their consent as well.
No, they don't. No, they're good. They consent.
Are you sure? How do you know?
They've already given me consent to channel, so they understand that their message. They want to reach as many people as possible.
Cool. Happy and ready when you are.
Okay, sounds good. Hello, and we say a fantastic day to you at this moment of your time. We are the Palladian Council, and we thank you for allowing us to interact with you in this way. We speak on behalf of a galactic alliance supporting your world in this process. Some of you call ascension. It is a shift from one perspective of consciousness to another that allows you a whole range of other experiences. Many of you are already consciously engaged in this process, and we thank you for being open to receive our energy, as it is of mutual benefit. Both you and ourselves are able to expand through the reflections we offer each other and connect deeper with the one source. And for this, we are deeply appreciative. We understand you have many questions, so we won't say very much more. we will simply invite you to ask those questions and share what you would like with us today, beginning whenever you wish.
Thank you. Thank you for joining here today and sharing with us your voice. I do have a lot of questions, so I think I'm going to jump straight into them, and I think that will kind of guide our conversation for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I'm happy to clarify. There might be some issues with audio, so let's try and talk as slow as possible so that it's clear for the other person and for the audience that is viewing. Yeah, let's get started. My name's Ahmed Rabia. What's yours?
Palladian Council, we do not have names in our world. We are a guide that speaks on behalf of a collective consciousness. This guide is connected to the channel, what you might consider a future lifetime or incarnation of the channel. In our world, we share a telepathic connection with each other, allowing us to access a collective consciousness. And therefore, we call ourselves a council because we do not consider ourselves individuals in the same way that you do.
Okay, so you're a group. You're not a person, but a group.
We are a group that, well, we are an individual that operates under collective consciousness.
Cool. How are you doing?
Fantastic.
Fantastic is fantastic. Me too. Is it rude if I interrupt you? I may have a lot of questions and I may have curiosities. Not rude. Cool.
Is it rude if we interrupt you?
Absolutely not. Feel free to welcome, and you're welcome to interrupt me as often as possible.
All right.
Cool. I've asked this question during our last session, but I'd like you to share your answer with my audience so that they hear it as well. The question is, how do we know you are who you say you are?
You do not. Because we cannot prove that we are anything other than a voice coming out of the channel now. However, you can be assured that there is a powerful transmission of energy that takes place, because many of you may find yourself entering into the same sort of altered state of consciousness the channel enters into in order to channel through listening to these words. You can also find confirmation of the information that we share because it simply resonates with you, or you feel something, or that the guidance we share with you proves applicable in your lives.
Okay.
This is the only confirmation that is possible.
Okay. So we don't know you are who you say you are, but we have to take the information you receive, and if it resonates with something that we know, then we should keep it. If it doesn't resonate, then we should discard it.
We wouldn't discard it. We would say, put it aside and remember that this information is a perspective that exists out there. And as you go through your transformation, perhaps that perspective fits in or doesn't at a later point in your time.
Okay, so we might use that information later, but if we like what you say, take it. If we don't like what you say, keep it till a later date because it might make sense later.
Yes.
Cool. Let's start with pronouns, nouns. What do I refer to you as? The terms I'm familiar with are aliens and extraterrestrials.
Extraterrestrials works just fine. Spirit guides works as well.
Oh, I like that.
We could be called them, yes.
Cool. Is there one that you prefer?
No.
Cool.
Whatever works for you to fit us into your framework of reality.
Okay. For the framework of this call, I'm going to continue referring to you as extraterrestrials because the whole point is that we're talking to people. We're talking to a person who channels aliens. At least that's the idea. You're a member of the Palladian Council. May you please introduce them to my viewers who are hearing you for the first time, probably. Can you let us know where is the Palladian Council located? Is it in our space? Is it somewhere else? Is it a planet? Is it another plane of existence?
We exist at this point in our time throughout this galaxy, though our home star, where we have grown, is known as Alcyon. We also have a secondary home on Maya, these are stars within the Pleiades star cluster, from your perspective, that is in the constellation of Taurus.
Taurus.
This star cluster, yes.
My dad's a Taurus. Sorry, I was excited.
So, all right. Well, we have evolved over millions of years, as in the same way that you have, and we are connected with your world since ancient times. You are a created species, and we could say that very distant cousins of ours are your creators. They are descendants of our ancient ancestors. These beings are known as the Anunnaki. So these beings were part Pleiadian and part mixed with other sorts of extraterrestrial beings.
Okay.
And they came to your world in a sort of colonial fashion to extract gold and other resources to stabilize their environment at a time in which they were experiencing an atmospheric collapse.
Okay, that was
And
a lot.
they eventually left your world.
Sorry, it's a lot for me to take
That was
in.
a lot.
It's a lot for me to take in because it's hard for me to wrap my brain around who these entities are or where they exist, because this is all so new to me. So it feels like it's a bit overwhelming. I'll let the chat ask a question if they want to expand on this topic, but the members of the Palladian Council exist all across the world, and they came before our time, and they are related to, or at least we might be related to Anunnaki. I'll expand on it on a later date because this is a bit too much for me to digest at the moment, if that's okay.
All right.
Here's a personal question. Which extraterrestrial civilization is Nathaniel Glosson most connected with? And what is the name of the specific ET he is most familiar with?
Would be the Arcturian beings.
Oh, okay. And what is the name of the specific ET he's most familiar with?
Beings also do not have names.
Oh, that's interesting because the being that he's spoken to has a very specific name and has shared that name.
Yes, we don't recognize names in the same way as you do. We may present names to you, though beings of our density do not use language, so we do not recognize them by the same names that they might present themselves as and that you might recognize them as.
So, question. Are the Arcturians on the same level of existence as you, the Palladians?
Yes, and yes and no, in that they are non-physical beings, but they do not express themselves in a physical reality in the same way that we do.
Oh,
so we are quasi-physical, and they are non-physical consciousness.
Quasi-physical. So they're allowed to have names if they're non-physical, aren't they?
Well, names that are introduced to you in your world are like codes that help you to recognize the specific frequencies of these beings.
Okay.
And these names are not used in our worlds because we do not use language.
Okay, I have a name.
They are simply a translation.
I have a name for you.
Of energy that helps you understand
I
them.
hear what you're saying, and I have a name for you, so you can help me understand what frequency of intelligence or information that we're connecting to. There's a question in the chat, but I'm going to ask my question first, if that's okay. Have you heard of an extraterrestrial called Arya? That is the name that she believes she's an she says she's an Arcturian, I believe.
Yes, we recognize this frequency.
Okay, so you recognize this frequency. There is a frequency. Do you know who are the known channels for this frequency?
There are many who connect with this entity.
Okay, well then, have you heard of the name Stephanie Messingale?
Yes.
Is she a channeler of the Arcturians on the frequency of Arya?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay. There's a question in the chat, and then I'll jump to my question. Can the Palladian Council tell me the name that a primary Arcturian entity has presented to myself for reference? We kind of covered that, Nathaniel. The names that the extraterrestrials give us are the frequencies at which they connect with us with, and the frequency is called Arya. At least that was the question presented to myself for reference. This is Nathaniel Glosson, by the way. Already answered.
We didn't get all of that.
It's okay. The question was already answered, so we don't need to cover it. Next question. Is there another way to contact you outside of channeling, like, say, via a video medium?
Not at the present moment.
What will enable it to be available to us?
You can... This answer is not quite what you expect, but via channeling, you can come into another level of contact with us if you develop this telepathic connection and you request a viewing. You can go beneath your night sky and have a connection with your physical eyes with a ship. So this is a possibility, and sometimes we will say this is something that happens that is not consciously initiated.
Can I rephrase it? Can I try the same thing but by looking at a television? What if I'm thinking to connect, but I'm trying to get information from a television in front of me?
There is a sort of force of synchronicity that your media can present to you the relevant information that you need to know and you have been asking for when you enter into a flow and allow your own intuitive guidance to bring you to the right place, right time, where that information is presented.
I have a question. What about channeling God?
Well, God is within all that is. Everything that exists is God, and so any spirit guide is a sort of messenger for God.
Okay.
And you all have your own higher self that is the ultimate level of your own soul that is in a state of oneness with God.
Okay.
So connecting with your higher self is essentially channeling God.
I agree. I connect to my higher self in many ways. Smoking, dancing, singing, having fun, playing around. They're saying they can provide a viewing in the sky of a spaceship if asked. The TV thing is about getting a message through a commercial slip or a song on the radio. They're saying that if you go outside and intend to connect with aliens, you can make a connection by seeing one of the stars. But they didn't say that you can view a spaceship in the sky, so to speak.
Yes, you can view a spaceship in the sky.
Oh, they are saying you can view a spaceship in the sky. I was mistaken. I'm sorry.
It happens sometimes by will, as in you can use your telepathic connection to gain information and, in a sense, make an appointment with extraterrestrials so that you go to the right place at the right time, agreed upon, and view the craft.
Cool.
Though oftentimes, and we would say even more often, it happens spontaneously. When you are in the right frequency, you will be able to witness this craft, and there is a transmission of energy that often takes place with it.
Cool. I have no further elaboration on this topic. I would like to jump to the next question. The next question is, what do you want for or from humans?
We want for you that you evolve and that you join the Galactic Alliance.
Okay.
And that you end the patterns of violence and destruction upon your world. And we gain from you, regardless of whether or not your collective makes that choice, the insight that can only be gained through witnessing a mere reflection. Your world is very different from our own, and you allow us to see very much and we learn very much from you. So, regardless of whether or not our influence is capable of bringing you into that higher frequency energy as a collective, we are still learning and growing.
Nice, cool. What do you want from us? You want to learn and grow. Appreciative. That's very clear. What does engaging with humans do for you? What do you gain? You think you just answered that, but if you want to expand on anything, no, I'm fine if you don't expand. How many alien races? Yeah, it is quite simple. How many alien races do you know of?
1,300, approximately.
Wow. Jesus Christ. That's a lot. Will we ever meet you in physical form?
That's very possible in certain timelines, yes.
What about this timeline?
In every moment, you're splitting off between thousands of different parallel realities. So
Okay.
you are about to make that choice, really. You're constantly shifting. Do you choose that as individuals and do you choose that as a collective? That is up to you.
Okay. How did the
The
contact with you?
probability of it is likely. It is around 74%.
Okay, cool. How did the contact with you first start? I think this is in the question with Dante specifically.
There were a variety of beings and entities that presented themselves to the channel via psychedelic. The channel was also learning about shamanic journeying and reading about other people's experiences. He met many spirit guides, and upon one journey, he saw a very extraordinary light in the sky that hundreds of other people witnessed at the very same time and were quite perplexed by. And as he continued to delve into shamanism, more and more guides presented themselves to him, and he was introduced to many different channelers, and exposing himself to this high vibration content awakened with him and a desire to explore these realms even deeper. And different guides started to communicate with him, and we introduced ourselves as a personality that could be introduced to the world for the purpose of supporting your planet in growth, and had a very compatible vibration with his own.
And this is he being Dante.
Yes.
Cool. What would you say to the skeptical people who don't believe in aliens?
Do you understand how vast galaxy, this galaxy alone, with millions of stars, so many of which are not even discovered yet, do you really suppose that your planet is unique, absolutely and completely, among all of these millions and millions of stars? To us, that seems rather absurd.
Sorry, I'm transcribing to us. That seems rather absurd. I'm transcribing what you're saying because it's quite useful. Do aliens say anything about the future? You did say something about the future, and I will repeat. Yes. However, the answers are complicated and convoluted.
Well, there are many different futures. There are an infinite amount of different futures. Let's introduce one future to you. This is a future that is still potential for you. You may have heard of extraterrestrial beings known as the Greys.
Who?
These
Sorry?
beings have
You spell
the
that for
Greys.
me? Spell that for me, please.
Grays.
The
Or
Greys.
if you're from England, Grys. So these beings came and abducted people at different moments in time. Many people have these memories. What many people do not know is that these beings were abducting for the sake of retrieving genetic material, and they used this genetic material to splice it with their own genetic material to create races. And they did this not simply for fun as an experiment, but because it was a necessity for survival. These beings were humans that had mutated over the course of their evolution. They are representing one timeline and essentially came from their future back to this present to survive. And this offered you opportunities as well. This is why humans agreed to this at a soul level. So this just is one example of the many facets of time. There are many, many different timelines, and they all have different qualities.
So time is not fixed.
Time is not fixed.
Okay.
Every moment you make a decision, you're splitting between two timelines that veer off. And in fact, because you have many possible decisions, many variations on each decision, there's many more than just two. There's several varied timelines that take place from that moment. And just because you cannot experience them or see them doesn't mean they don't exist.
Okay. Next question. Why were you, the Palladian Council, chosen, and why was Dante chosen?
We made this soul agreement because we wanted to share something through this channel. The channel and our frequency are very compatible. And why was this channel chosen? In a sense, the channel also chose this. The channel came in with a desire to experience all that which is beyond the realm of ordinary consciousness. And this deep desire brought the channel to choose the types of experiences and practices that would bring one beyond the realms of ordinary consciousness, and this eventually made him compatible for channeling.
So, it's random, but it's not random because it was the right frequency and the right channel for us to connect.
It wasn't random, it was pre-selected, but also it comes with a desire. So those who have a desire to have an experience are the ones who are going to have such an experience.
Okay. Cool.
But that desire is something that you choose at a soul level and you incarnate with.
Sure. 1 second. I'm just going to blow my nose. I'm sorry. Cool. We're back. Questions about you specifically. Which planet are you from? You said you're from all over the galaxy, correct? Is there one planet that you call home?
Our origin is a planet around the star Alcyon.
Alcyon? How do you spell that?
A-Y or A-L-Y-C-O-N-E.
A-L-Y what?
C-O-N-E.
A-L-Y-C-O-C-O-N-E. Alcyon, you said? A-L-Y-C-O-N-E. It looks like Alicone if you do it in our lexicon, but our solar system, our galaxy, in that sense. How is it relevant to our solar system, our galaxy?
We have been co-creating for some time.
No. I think
hundreds of thousands.
The question is, how far is Alicone from our solar system, our galaxy, in that sense?
Some hundreds of thousands of light years.
Some hundreds of thousands of light years. How are you channeling? What is the medium of communication? Is it electromagnetic waves?
Telepathic energy frequencies.
Telepathic energy frequencies? Visions. How did you attune that person to receive those signals?
The channel's practices of meditation and visioning gradually opened him to be able to have these moments of time. And as the channel practiced channeling more, he became more adept at allowing this information to come through.
He became more adept. Is there anything in the human body that acts like an antenna? And what is the mechanism by which the medium of information transfer interacts with the human receptor in the body?
The connection between the heart, the brain, and specifically within the brain, the pineal gland.
Between the
The
heart,
heart must
the
be
brain, and the pineal gland? Gland? How do you spell pineal?
pineal gland.
How do you spell pineal?
Pineal.
Pineal gland. Connection between the heart, the brain, and the pineal gland.
Yes.
Okay. Is that person completely likely to? Is that person completely taken over by you, like possession?
It's not exactly the same, but there are some mechanisms that are similar. The channel is conscious and can stop this state of consciousness and communication at will if they would wish. So there is no loss of will involved.
Cool. I have questions that I've asked people all over the world to kind of answer. So these are just questions from all over the world. Is there life on Mars?
Yes.
Holy shit. There is life on Mars? Can we communicate with it?
They are sort of microscopic organisms, so no.
Okay, all right. So there's life on Mars, but they're microscopic organisms. Are there any sentient beings on Mars?
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
But Mars has been utilized by sentient beings at times, and there was once a civilization on Mars.
Oh, by sentient beings once upon a time. Mars has been utilized by some sentient beings once upon a time. And what was the second thing you said?
There was once a civilization upon Mars.
There was once a civilization upon Mars. Where's the nearest inhabitable planet for humans to live on? How far away are we time-wise from living there?
It depends how you classify habitable. For example, Mars could be terraformed and given and created an atmosphere as some people envision, and there are many planets of this nature that are within rather close proximity. The next planet in this perfect Goldilocks zone is only 10,000 light years away.
That's good news. That's very good news because 10,000 light years away is nothing in comparison to how big the universe is. But that's a question for the scientists. Would you travel to space if you had the chance?
Would we do that? But would you? You're asking, should humans?
It was a question. I think it was a question directed to you. I don't think it's a very good question necessarily, but they're asking if you would travel to space.
We do.
Yeah. So
we have ships. Our ships are able to bend space-time so that we can travel very quickly and essentially teleport. And we have bases all over the galaxy, as do most members of the Galactic Alliance.
Okay. Why can't you teleport to Earth and meet us physically?
Because you're not at a compatible vibrational frequency.
Interesting. Which planet are you from? We've already asked and answered that question, haven't we? Alicine. Is that how you described it? How do you pronounce it?
Alcyon.
Alcyon, yes. Which planet are you from? Alcyon. Alcyon. Do your nations fight, or are you pacifists?
We are absolutely pacifist. That is a requirement to join the Galactic Alliance. We are also a protectorate. There are other extraterrestrials who are not.
Protectorate. Thank you for waiting for me because I was typing and it was taking me a while to transcribe what you were saying. Is everybody welcome? You just said that the requirement to join the alliance is to be a pacifist, correct?
Yes, correct.
See previous
So all who are
question.
agreeing to said pacifism and are at a compatible vibrational frequency may join.
How are women treated where you're from?
Like equals. There is very little difference between the genders. As species evolve more and more, there comes to be nonetheless a biological sex differentiation, yet there is less secondary sex characteristics and roles in society.
Secondary characteristics or roles. Okay, did aliens have anything to do with the pyramids?
Yes.
I'm not gonna elaborate. If anybody wants me to elaborate on this question, then feel free to donate to my PayPal, and I can pay for another session with Dante, and we can get more answers on questions on aliens. This is episode 1. Episode 2 is if you care. What about Petra? Were they involved in the creation of Petra?
Yes.
Nice. Petra's
but
where.
not as directly.
Oh, but not as directly. Oh, nice. Interesting. Do we have extraterrestrial DNA?
There were. Yes.
Wow, that's pretty fucking cool. Did extraterrestrials come to Earth at any point in time and mate with any mammals that were here on Earth? And did that influence the human existence of Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, and us humans?
Yes.
Simple answer, simple question. If they have pictures or videos from... Do you have any pictures or videos from your home?
We record holographic videos. So there are things that we could share for those that we visit, yes.
Can you come visit me, Ahmed Rabia, the host?
And telepathically, absolutely.
What about in the flesh?
That is not possible.
Not possible. Will it be made possible? Spoilers.
Should you reach a compatible vibration, then yes.
Cool. Then I will do my best to reach a compatible vibration so that I can meet you in person one day. That sounds like a fun thing to do. I hope I can.
It may take some time, but it is eventually possible.
I'm looking forward to it.
That there are very, 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 very few people who have ever met face-to-face extraterrestrials.
I accept a good challenge. I'm an ambitious young man. Is there anything that you can tell me that will help me get closer to being at the right channel so that I can meet with you in person?
Well, we share with all of you in your world a formula for raising your vibration. It is upon your highest excitement to the best of your ability without insisting on an outcome. Doing this continually allows your energy frequency to raise so that you are more in touch with your higher self source.
All right.
And of course, this process also involves releasing your own limiting beliefs and allowing yourself to experience more love, joy, and bliss.
Man.
And this will allow you to have all sorts of experience.
Man, I love to hear that. I don't know where I've lost my little thingy bob. Because I live my life to the best of my heart, to my heart's desire, and I don't let fears or limiting beliefs stop me. I will continue to live my life following my heart to the best of my ability, or as someone once told me, Shivai. Can you explain to us what Shivai means?
This is a salutation that comes from the Sasani realm.
And what does it mean?
It essentially is representing seeing source in each other.
Seeing source in each other?
Yes. Or God, as you call it.
Seeing God in each other. I love that. That's beautiful. Okay. Next question. I have 4 more minutes for general questions, and then I'll jump into my questions because I want to make sure that I have my own personal questions answered. I left my personal questions at the end of the stream because I wanted to make sure I got to everyone's questions as much as possible. Next, if any of us wanted to leave Earth, can they take us somewhere else? Where would that be, and how would it look like?
Should you reach a compatible vibration eventually, that may be possible, though it would be very strenuous on you as humans to make such a vast shift in one lifetime alone.
A strenuous thing for you humans to achieve in one lifetime alone. Cool. Is there an edge?
Gradually, over hundreds of years, humans will become able to travel between different planets.
To travel between different planets. So not in any of our lifetimes.
The first pioneers could exist within this life.
Oh, I like that answer. The first pioneers could exist within this lifetime. Cool. Is there an edge of the universe, and how many civilizations have you, the Palladians, encountered?
There is no edge. It is limitless in its scope. We are aware of around 1,300 civilizations.
That was not the question. The question was, how many civilizations have you encountered?
We encountered around 900.
900. Are there any that we can encounter anytime soon?
There are many that are telepathically in contact with you and who visit your world in their ships. We are of them, and there are also the Sathani, the Yael, the Arcturians, and the Syrians.
Can you repeat that, please? And can you spell each one?
The Yael, the Sathani.
Yael are the ones that said Shivai. How do you spell Yael?
Yahyel.
Okay, Yael. Next.
Sathani, Sassani.
Sassani, Sassani.
Yes. The Syrians.
The Syrians. Syrians.
Yes.
Wow.
S-I, rather, not Y.
Sirians. From the star?
Sirius.
Sirius. Sirias.
Sirius.
Sirius. Cool. Okay. The next two?
Pleiadians, being ourselves.
And that is spelled Pleiadian.
Correct.
And then the last being
the
Arcturians.
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 Yes.
I learned Shivai from the Yael. Meerkat. Oh, Mira's joined the chat. Mira, we'll get to you in just a second, if that's okay, because I still have a few more questions. I have the last 10 minutes. I will jump to my questions before I jump to the childish questions that I call. Mira, can you please mute yourself?
Yes.
Thank you. Cool. Great. My questions. I seem to have gone through an experience that has injured my back. The injury is not external to my skin, so the problem is internal. I've done massages, dry needling, and lately Reiki. My Reiki healer indicated that it might be me, and I quote, protecting myself from something, but they're not sure. Do you have any idea what it might be?
It's connected to posture and spending too much time sitting. So you may benefit from doing yoga, qigong, and spending less time in seated postures, especially when you are bending forward in some way while seated.
Okay, I'll try that. I have a question about ketamine use. Can you let us know the benefits or disadvantages of such a drug?
Ketamine can allow you to access different states of consciousness. It can allow you to travel and drift in high doses. In smaller doses, it can allow you to release and relieve stress, depression, and anxiety. This creates a chemical change in your brain that is lasting and can be profound for many. The disadvantages are that it is a, we would say, a cloudier sort of substance. And this substance, as well as many psychedelics, can bring about distorted messages and information. Many of you will interpret literally the visions and the dreams that you experience while under the influence of medicine. And oftentimes these visions are metaphoric, or they are to be deciphered and not taken literally. So sometimes people find themselves misled by what they think are the voices of their spirit when really they are being guided by their own beliefs and internal dialogues that are amplified by this substance or other substances. The other disadvantage of ketamine is that it is more addictive than other psychedelics, and the ease of access and the fact that it doesn't build tolerance as quickly as other psychedelic substances can lead those who are prone to addiction to rely on this substance very easily. And doing so leads one to live in a very distorted sense of reality.
Prone to addiction.
Yes.
Thus being in a distorted sense of reality, which I believe that I am in at the moment. You've mentioned gods before on the last session I attended. May you please let us know what you mean by gods?
Gods, or archetypal entities, are those such beings, including those within your mythology. And these spirits are ambassadors between the spirit, or the one creator, and the human realm. These beings sometimes also have incarnations, and they are teachers of different frequencies that are a part of your lives. They need not be worshipped, but to revere them and to commune with them can be a helpful way to integrate the varying frequencies and experiences that are a part of human incarnation. And
That's
also
a bit too fast for me. But to revere them and convene with them does what?
allows you to integrate and understand the various frequencies that make up a human incarnation, and to live in such a way that you communicate with these beings and you honor and understand that there are other forces at work influencing your life
Okay.
all the time.
You mentioned the one creator. Is that God? And
We also call this source.
the source, the one creator. So you do believe in God, you believe in the source. That's pretty interesting. And you say you should not worship the other gods, but you should revere and convene with them.
Well, when we say you don't need to worship them, we are referring to the ways that many conceive of religion in your world, in which they fear that disobeying these beings will bring about such bad luck. Their worship comes with a level of fear and superstition. And what's more helpful is to celebrate and honor these than to fear them.
If it's led by fear or superstition, it's worship and it's bad.
That's very black and white.
I like to simplify it as much as possible for myself to make it easier to understand. Is there something that is there a better way to phrase it simpler?
Well, what you approach with fear will amplify your fear. You will bring fear deeper into your life, and it will distort the experiences that you have.
Cool.
Versus to do something with love brings love into your life and will amplify that experience in all that you do.
Cool. Fantastic. I have a next question. Have you heard of the musical artist Ren? I lost you for a second. Have you heard of the musical artist Ren?
Ren?
Yeah, R-E-N.
R-E-N. We are not familiar with this film.
Okay. Now let's jump into the childish questions. While I've still got you, please let me know if is a hard cutoff for the meeting. It's 58 minutes past the 7th hour. I told Dante that we'd be on for an hour, but we did start a little bit later because we had a little voice technicality. So feel free to stop the channeling session whenever it's time up for Dante. Is that fair?
All is well. All is well.
Cool. Where is Ziggy Stardust now? These questions are a little bit more childish, a bit more from the internet. Came with some strange questions. I don't know if you're familiar with Ziggy Stardust.
Oh, the soul of David Bowie.
Yes.
Is doing well with the source. All souls who experience a reuniting with source, and in this afterlife, there are many experiences that souls have and enjoy.
In the afterlife, many things to enjoy. I have a question. How's Paul doing in the afterlife?
Which Paul?
My Paul Layan, the man that I was engaged to, my partner.
Also doing well.
Also doing well.
Enjoying.
That's good. That's all that I want to hear. I want to hear that he's doing well.
All right.
And? What did you say? And? There was an and.
He simply wants you to know that everything is well on the other side, and that he celebrates the journey that you have had.
Well, thank him for me, because I love him very much, and I carry him with me everywhere I go.
He knows this.
Oh, sweetie. We have a question that he might be interested in. It's a bit of a vulgar question, so apologies if this is profane or rude, but does cum taste the same on Mars?
Who is coming on Mars?
Nobody that I know of, but this is what young male adolescents on Earth would like to know. It's a very distasteful question, but if they were to go to Mars and come, would it taste the same on Earth as it would on Mars?
It really depends on what you would eat. So whatever food you would cultivate on Mars would determine the flavor of your cum. Other things like your level of stress also would play a role in it.
Also, your stress plays a role in it. Oh, that's pretty cool. Pretty informative. Another question is "you up," and I can explain it. It's slang. It's juvenile slang. So, do you understand the term "you up"?
We do not.
"You up" is a expression for a late night booty call that you would receive from somebody. So kind of saying, hey, are you up? It's kind of asking, are you interested in something sexual, something deviantly sexual? Hints of fuckboys.
We specifically are not. However, there are a variety of entities that would exchange sexual energy with you.
Are a
They will
variety
do
of
that in trance
entities
sorts of states,
that would like.
and you can even do rituals to call them in. Most of these entities do not have your best interest, but we understand that some of you are nonetheless curious about this, and it might serve you on your process of growth and discovery.
And it might assist in your process of growth and discovery. Ooh, so you can have sex with.
Only in the way that by having negative experiences, you learn how to avoid them, and you learn the mechanics of things like negative entities that would like to siphon your sexual energy.
That's fantastic. That's very cool. So having sex with aliens not good for you, but if you want to, you can learn by making a mistake.
Yes. Though there are other beings that enjoy your orgasm, and they are not negative in the same way. So there are some moments in which you are entering into a state of great ecstasy and bliss through your sexual experiences, and these other beings enjoy this energy with you. It is a little bit different than exchanging the energy directly with the beings. It is simply that when you have these powerful releases in conscious ways, it emits an energy frequency that benefits those beings that may be around you.
Cool. A question from a random stranger. What time can you pick me up?
We're sorry, but we cannot.
We
At
cannot.
this time.
Yeah.
We will
silly.
say it might be possible in the year 2037, October. But again, because your frequency is constantly changing, there will be many different timeline shifts up into that point.
There will be many timeline shifts up until that point. I too feast on louche. I don't know what that means. King Pong, you're gonna have to clarify if you want that question. Cool. I have a question for you, Palladians. What do you do for fun?
Everything we experience is fun in some way. We all have different roles in our world. Many of us travel in our ships and experience contact with beings like yourselves or beings that we meet in more physicalized ways. This is very exciting for us. We have experiences of art and music that we enjoy in our world. We enjoy communing with nature. We enjoy communing with each other. We enjoy experiences akin to your meditation and all sorts of different things.
Meditation, all sorts of different things. Did you have fun today?
Yes, very much so.
Yes, very much so, because I had fun too. Thank you very much. This is very much my heart's passion. I'm following it. I'm streaming. I'm very excited. So I'm so grateful that you guys joined me today. This has been very enlightening. I have no idea how well this will be received or not at all, but I imagine there might be more in our future. If you're open to more engagements like this, I'm sure we can arrange
Absolutely.
it.
It's been very exciting and very joyous for us as well to be able to co-create with you in this way.
I love
to be
it.
able to learn and grow from your reflection.
Nice. Co-creation from my own reflection. I love it. Here's another question for Mira. Where should Mira and her dog go to enjoy the most together?
There's a certain lake that they will enjoy very much. We cannot pinpoint it, but they will be able to discover it.
So it's a lake that they know or a lake that they need to find?
They know of it, but they might not have been there yet.
Okay. Someone said King Pong gave a way to take care of the hex, and he gave a spell. I'm not going to repeat the spell on Twitch. Mira, I'm going to tell you what the Palladians told you, which is that you need to clarify it with prayers. Pray to God and you'll be okay. Connect better to the source, my lovely dear. Or cast the spell that King... Yeah?
You must understand that there is no need to cause harm onto others unless you are preventing them from causing a greater harm to the collective.
Can you simplify
So
that for me?
you don't. If fighting a fight prevents greater destruction from happening, then it is serving a higher purpose.
So you're saying she should
But
fight those people?
No, we're saying hypothetically. We're saying hypothetically because in this situation, there's no need to combat. And so anything done with magic or otherwise to invoke sort of combat or send the same negative energy back onto them is going to perpetuate the cycle of destruction.
Okay, so King Pong, this is a message to you since you recommended the spell. If you were to cast a spell to send the energy of the hex back at the person, you are perpetuating the continuous back and forth of this dark energy, and you're not resolving it. Is that correct?
Yes, the universe itself will return the negative energy back onto them. It is part of the built-in mechanics of the universe.
Itself will.
A universal law states what you put out comes back.
Do you understand, Mira? Please type in chat if you understand, because I don't want you to join the audio call is not quite right. But if you understand, please let me know, because you are sending me messages via WhatsApp. She wants to know if it was a hex, black magic specifically.
It wasn't consciously done. Though there are times when people who have very powerful psychic energy brood in bitterness, and without knowing it, this causes negative energy to affect others.
So it wasn't intentionally done or like consciously done. It was done on a subconscious level out of jealousy.
Yes.
Okay. What's the best thing that she can do to kind of deal with the negative energy? You said pray, but is there a simple solution?
Discover the power of one's interconnection with Source. By connecting with Source and connecting with unconditional love, an energy of powerful forgiveness and invisibility takes place. One is able to step into this higher frequency energy, and all of the negativity that comes towards one is dissolved instantaneously.
She says, not simple, but I can do the hard work. And yes, love. So she understands that love is the answer.
Yes, the work is not hard. The work is in allowing love to immerse itself within your lives. That's why we always share the formula of doing what you love, as in acting on your highest passion to the best of your ability without insisting on an outcome. This will raise your vibration for love, absolutely.
Cool. Well, she sends you love and gratitude.
Our love and gratitude to you.
That's so adorable. Great. It is now 11 minutes past the hour. I have one more set of questions that I can possibly ask you, but they're a bit long. How are your energy levels? How are your time levels? This is officially over after the time that we agreed upon with Dante, so I don't want to take more of his time than originally agreed upon.
You can take one more very important question if you would wish.
One more very important question, then I'm not going to ask that question from the group and the channel. I guess maybe a question I would like to be a little bit more selfish. What can I, Ahmed Rabia, do to better achieve a higher vibration such that I can be closer to enlightenment, closer to success, closer to love, closer to happiness? What is the best piece of advice you can give me?
The formula, as we've said, acting on your highest passion to the best of your ability without insisting on an outcome. You say that you are doing this, though we would hope that you also immerse yourself in that last aspect of the formula of having no insistence on a particular outcome and cultivating a higher level of non-attachment. Because there are times in which you feel as if you must hold on to the success and achievement that you seek, and to approach things in a more relaxed manner will allow you to find greater connection with Source. It would also involve greater care for your physical body and greater awareness of the condition of your physical body, bringing your awareness into these experiences of aches and pains and negative sensations in general that don't seem to have a physical cause, and becoming curious about them, inquiring, what are they there to teach you? What are they there to guide you towards?
Okay, clear. I'm paying attention, and I will continue to do so, and I will try and listen to it better and treat my body better and do better. Yeah, I thank you and appreciate you for your wisdom and guidance.
All right, our great thanks to you as well.
Well then, have a good day, Palladian Council.
You as well have a fantastic day. We very much thank you for this co-creation.
Thank you for this co-creation.
Right.
Cool. So, like, were you present for all of that, Dante?
Yeah, I was conscious of it. It feels like a flow in that I'm not thinking as much about what's happening, and it just comes through.
That was unbelievably fascinating. That was very cool, very exciting. I am very grateful for your time, for your energy. I will sort out the payment thing for you. We'll keep working on it until it works. My audience, that is all the time that we have with Dante today. If you have any more questions, feel free to send them. You have all my socials there somewhere on my Twitch. You can also type in the chats. You can also add me as a messenger. Hello, Ba. You just missed us talking to aliens. Dante here on the video call with me was channeling the Palladian Council. I will release the YouTube video of it so you can watch the record of what we talked about. It was very cool, very exciting. I asked them all these questions, and I got a lot of answers. 22 pages of like really large text. But it was very cool, very exciting.
If I can share as well, I do have a YouTube channel, Dante Starshine.
Sure, absolutely.
Same Instagram, and there you can find a lot of videos, more in-depth details, and some of the things like the galactic history that might have been too much information for the session. There's a very in-depth book that covers all such things. So,
yep, I've got.
The website's Dante Starshine.
I will put the link in the chat so that if anybody's interested, they can find you, Dante Starshine. We can, of course, arrange more of these discussions if there's enough drive, if there's enough interest. I will release the YouTube video on my personal social channels. For those that are interested in adding me on Facebook, you guys are more than welcome to. Ahmad Rabia. That's my name. But if you just add me without sending me a message, I will ignore you because I don't know who you are. If you send me a message and you say I'm from your stream, then I will know that you are who you say you are, and this is where I post all of my updates. For now, I might switch to Preacher Abba at a later date. Cool, Dante. Is there anything that you would like to talk about or share with before you head off? Before we release you back to the wild?
Oh, well, yeah, channeling is pretty amazing. There's a lot we can experience. Go deeper.
And there's your website, DanteStarshine.com. If you want to connect, he's about channeling, about healing sessions, guidebook to living on Earth, booking a session with him. There's a lot of different things that you can access at. DanteStarshine.com is very, very easy.
And I go live every Wednesday.
He goes live every Wednesday. That's how I met him. I attended Dante's Zoom session and asked my questions there, and that's when I knew that he was the right person to engage with. So that's what brings us here today. Cool. Well, I want to thank you for your time, Dante. This has been awesome, and we'll stay connected to figure out how we make sure you get your money. And until then, I would like to wish you well.
So much, you two. Be well, be blessed, be brilliant.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Adios.